What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Trailer Safety Week. This is Sean from All American Trailer, and today we are going to talk about strapping down or securing our load. In our previous video, we loaded this tractor and we made sure that it was centered on the trailer correctly. We made sure that we had the right amount of tongue weight and that our load was basically in the right position to allow us to tow it safely on the highway. So now we're going to secure this load and go over some tips and tricks that you need to know when securing. So we already went ahead and ran their chain through. What you're going to want to know before you start tying anything down is the weight of your equipment and the weight capacity and the working load on your chains and on your binders. So chains and binders are going to be your best way to strap things down. Depending on the weight of your machine, you can use things like straps, but today we're going to go over how to use the chain and binders. Now, this piece of equipment is under 10,000 pounds. We went over in a previous video that this is a 4,000 pound machine. You have different regulations for a piece of equipment that's over 10,000 pounds and under 10,000 pounds, and you're going to want to familiarize yourself with those in your state. But federally, there is a law that over 10,000 pounds, you do have to make sure that you have all four corners tied. You're going to have 4 chains and 4 ratchets, one at each corner. For an under 10,000 pound machine like this one, we are definitely able to run this chain through the front and through the rear. So we have one chain going through to 2 points at the front, one chain going through to 2 points at the rear. Let's start with the chains as far as making sure that we have the right capacities. These are a grade 70 5/16 chain. So grade 70 5/16 chain has a 4,700 pound working load on it. And then these binders, you're going to see them stamped into the binder. This one says 6,600 pounds on it. So you always have to go off of your lowest rated piece here. So our lowest rated piece is the chain at 4,700 pounds. And by DOT requirements, we're required to secure 50% of the weight of this machine. So 50% of 4,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds. This is a pretty light machine, so it's pretty easy to get to our weight capacity here. Our chain at 4,400 in the front, 4,400 in the rear, easily gets us over. Also keep in mind that when you are securing 4 points with 4 different chains and 4 different binders, you are only going to get 50% of that capacity. So if you have chains that are at 4,400 pounds and you have one on each corner, you're going to basically be able to add up 2,200 pounds for each of those chains, all 4 corners. That's going to equal 8,800 pounds. So you'd be able to pull a machine that's just over 16,000 pounds with that if you basically said that you had to secure 50% of that load. So now that we know that our chain and binder setup is plenty heavy duty enough for the machine that we're tying down, let's go ahead and ratchet it. And then, so right there, basically everything is tight. It's gotten tight on the chain, the ratchet is nice and tight, so we're gonna move on to the rear. So we've already tightened up the rear ratchet, and what we wanna show here is the angle that you wanna do this at. So the chain should always be pulling at about a 45-degree angle if you're able to do that, and to the rear, at the rear part of the trailer, and forward at the front. So you basically want all of your chains pulling against each other. So you're pulling front and back, and you're pulling side to side at the same time. That's going to really secure that piece of machinery so it doesn't want to jockey itself sideways, and it also doesn't want to move forward and back as you're traveling. You know, if everything is tied down properly, even in an accident, you're not going to have things coming off the trailer or coming loose on the highways. So that's the thing you want to make sure, that you're tied down as safely and properly as possible. So even in a worst case scenario, everything is secured on the trailer. So once you get everything tied down, with a machine like this, you can kind of go around, you can push everything, pull it, make sure all of your chains, you want to feel the tension on each chain front and back, make sure that it's tight. And if everything is secure, then you are ready to hit the road. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for our last video as we wrap up Trailer Safety Week. Thank you.